this one, Phil Yates and Carl Boyce.
Rhiannon, thank you very much indeed. For a lot of this year, in pool terms, it's been Viva España. We know about David Alcaide's win in the World Pool Masters in Gibraltar. He's won that tournament twice in the last 3 years.
For break.
But Spain are also the reigning European team champions. They won that title in Treviso, Italy in April. And I think Jeremy Jones is absolutely right, Carl, in saying that Spain,
Australia
useful favourites here.
And will break first.
It's just placed 5th in Matchroom's other event, the US Open. So what about that for finishes from both these guys? So certainly not scared of this type of arena, that's for sure.
Yes, and conversely to that, when Justin Sajich, who's here for Australia this time, teamed up with James Delahunty last year, they got through the first round, and it was the first time that Australia, in multiple visits to this tournament, had ever won a match.
Yeah, just in there on the right. Nice cueist. Not so much sure about his partner yet, so we'll get a bit of an insight when he's had a little bit more table time. This looks a pretty good opener from Mr. Alcaide, and that's a good effort.
Sajich and Delahunty beat Russia last year in the first round, 7-4. Danny Stone, his new partner, well, like Sajich himself, he's a Sydney-sider, and his full-time job is fire protection. He's a fireman.
Well, his first ever shot in the World Cup of Pool is a fluke.
The Fluky Fireman, there you go. Immediate nickname.
Teed you up lovely there, Mr. Yates, didn't I? I mean, I could see what he was trying to do. Probably just a little bit of adrenaline and just overhit that. Needs a good pot here though. Full length of the table. And it is a good pot. Where's the cue ball going? Doesn't look ideal. Oh, he's a lefty. Lefties are usually very good potters of the ball, and there you see. Looks like Danny Stone is as well, because that wasn't easy. It was a thin one into that corner.
Just had a good chat with them in the practice room, actually, to get a few details and to get some idea of the vibe in this duo, and they seem quite relaxed. Sajich, in fairness, a little more relaxed than his partner. That's understandable. He's been on the big stage before. In fact, he got invited this year to the World Pool Masters in Gibraltar and beat Petri Mäkinen there in the first round.
Yeah, and rightly so. For whenever you can win a match in one of these Matchroom multi-sport TV events, it will always stand you in good stead for future appearances, and you can kind of just see with Justin, he's got that little bit of confidence and arrogance that you need. He doesn't look scared of what's going on, and that's important. And this will settle them down if they can clear the table here. But not only will it do that, it will show their opponents that they're here to play, and this isn't, you know, a walkover type match. Phil, why is it these left-handed cueists are so good at potting the ball? I don't get it.
I agree with you, they are, and also they look so good. There's an aesthetic appeal to the way they play.
Yeah, because when John Murray used to play, I didn't think he looked that good, but now he's a lefty, I think he is. I'm only joking, John, if you're watching.
Well, there's only one ball left on the table here, and it's about to disappear. A confidence-boosting start from the Australians. They draw first blood. Australia 1, Spain 0.
We can't
Rack
get too
number 2,
carried away.
current score is 1-0 in favour of Australia.
The main thing
Spain
is they got the
is
job
breaking.
done. Francisco possesses a wonderful break shot at 9-ball pool. And of course, it's dry.
I'll tell you what, you'd stop a train. Give me your lottery numbers on Saturday night and I'll have the other 42.
Yes, and the dry break does give the Aussies a chance in the second rack.
Extension, please.
Extension called.
Just a reminder that we have a 30-second shot clock in operation in this tournament in every match. But in each rack, one 30-second extension per team is allowed to facilitate additional thinking time.
Well, I'll tell you what, that never stopped rolling, did it? That was super fast. I thought it was going to come pretty good there. So this is a thin one, and obviously it's not easy to control the cue ball, so see what Danny can do here. Well, Danny boy, this could be your day, because that's another useful flick on the 5-ball. There you can see the gap between the 9 and the green 6. We'd love to get the cue ball in a position where he can pop the 5 through that gap. And I think he's got there. That looks pretty good.
And that was sensible, actually, screwing back off the cushion, because it gave him a lot more ability to be free with the cue rather than just try and jab it and find the gap without making contact with the cushion.
Yeah, I know we're only a rack or two in this match, but Danny doesn't look like he's going to falter to me. Looks like he's going to knock the balls in, and you can just tell he's a fluent, fast player, so Spain have got a match on their hands here.
Yes, and as I said when I went in to meet them in the practice room, it was clear he was no shrinking violet. "Hello, mate," he said, and chatting away straight away. Introverted not.
Well, he's left that absolutely perfect. Not many players would have played that. They'd have just been happy leaving just in long, but he's drawn the cue ball all the way back up to the top rail and left a perfect angle. The Aussies are here to play.
Come on, Aussie, come on! The men from down under are on top in the early running. Bear in mind where the Victoria Hall happens to be. It's literally within walking distance of the Spanish border. He had so many of his family and friends there, and when he eventually prevailed, boy, what a scene. Ooh, so close to the 9 going in there.
Well, would you look at this? Nearly makes the 9-ball on the break. But just look at the layout here. All the balls are open. He's pocketed 3 balls on the break, so there's only 6 left. Just this first shot's one of them little, like a sort of dinky type shot. Yeah, that's not too bad. Probably a little bit too much angle, so he's just discussing with Justin, should he stun over and off a couple of rails.
Extension, please.
This might sound a little bit crazy, but I was never against playing a little soft draw shot and just flicking the 4-me. Let's see what he does, because if you land short on this, you're leaving quite a thin 4-ball. I think he's playing that just a little soft. Well, not so sure about that. That is really thin. Good potter though is Justin, so key shot is not just making the 4-ball in the corner, he's getting on the 5. And you might have to juice it up, Phil, because look where that 8-ball is. Didn't like the previous shot, me, Phil, I'm afraid. I think they could have. I think that was my least favourite option out of the possible 3.
Caught the cushion almost straight after contact, and it was never in.
You don't really see 9-ball pool players bumping balls out, but I just think in that instance, maybe it could have been the shot. It's easy sat here though, of course. David might have to play a power top spin shot now, because Francisco slightly overrun that. I mean, he doesn't have to come all the way back up the table for the 9. Yeah, on your TV screens you might think that's a crazy shot, but it's a sensible shot. That's what that is.
Extension.
Guaranteed to pop the 8 that way. But this is a thin one. It is thin.
Yes, and when you're still not off the mark and you haven't had an awful lot of table time, a thin tester.
Yeah, it has to be said, Francisco has missed a few balls on the TV, and he's missed another. I feel David there, the experienced player, should have top that 8-ball in and get a little bit closer for Francisco. Huge mistake here from Spain.
Sajich having his say. Stone on a roll. The Spaniards in disarray.